Hi, this is Jamie Dibbs. Writers' workshops. I have attended a few. Some are duds, but when they work, they're really great. This video was taken in 2016. I was living in Paris and I joined a Paris Writers' Workshop. We would meet on Sunday evenings in a book-filled corner of Shakespeare and Company, the legendary bookshop. It was a great way to get some feedback on projects I was working on and to help others with the same, and also to make friends. This video has been in the equivalent of a dusty desk drawer since that time, and I'm reviving it now, partly just because I happened to stumble upon it because I had forgotten about it. A little bit of nostalgia for a nice time. But another reason to share it with you guys is just because it shows one experience that turned out really well in terms of writers coming together in person on a regular basis to help each other understand their work better. It's not easy to find a group that clicks, but I encourage people to try, even if you live in a low density area. And if you don't find a group that works for you, make your own. You only need a couple of people to come on board. Anyway, this is one look at a writers group that I found to be very successful in its time, and I hope it provides you with some entertainment and some inspiration.
Sounds of Paris, because we filmed this outdoors, and it's going to be a little bit noisy. I hope you don't mind.
State your name for the record.
Vincent Shabani Dore.
Okay, and what do you write?
I mostly write prose. I write short stories.
And why do you come to critique groups?
It's always hard to give your work to critique to your friends, which I never do, because there is a glint of pity in their eyes.
Great. What's your name?
Rebecca.
Rebecca what?
Loxton, sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
and what do you write?
I rate prose poetry.
Okay.
And I think feedback groups are great because they're diverse, so you get a range of opinions.
I think from the feedback that they give every week, you kind of get to realize how your writing sounds like to other people. Because when you're writing yourself, it's very easy to kind of be in your own head, as it were, and not really know how it's coming across to other people.
Bruce Sherfield.
Bruce Sherfield.
Yeah.
How long have you, what do you write, Bruce?
I write, I'm writing a novel, and I'm also write a lot of poetry. I'm also a songwriter, and I do a lot of copy. There was a moment where I said I needed to find a kind of group that I could interact with and get feedback for, and to bounce my ideas off of, and to take writing to another level.
And has it taken it to another level?
I hope so. Yes.
Yeah. Have you found being in a critique group improved your writing?
Oh yeah.
Can
What
you
I
give us
brought
yeah.
in the beginning was bullshit.
I'm Thibaut,
Thibaut what?
Thibaut Nam,
So what do you write?
mostly poetry.
Poetry.
Yeah.
Learning, I think there was a part when it's learning to respect an audience as well, where you can't bring your self-involved bullshit, you have to bring something people react to and people will be engaged in and people will like. And that changes you. That changes your writing.
I think somewhere everybody yearns for some feedback. When you are really serious about writing, whatever you are writing, you need some people to point you what you're doing good, what you're doing wrong.
Because I like being with other writers and I find it really useful to kind of get feedback on my work, and I think my writing has improved over the time that I've been coming to the workshop.
You're going to make mistakes, but you can start to anticipate them and find them faster and faster.
At some point, you know you have to present your work, and you try to. We all want to present the best work possible.
Yeah.
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 So you go in and it's quite an informal setting, and then everyone just takes a seat wherever, and then the person running the workshop asks everyone to introduce themselves and then asks people whether they brought any work with them, and then people take it in turns to present their work. So usually somebody else will read that author's work, and then people jump in with feedback and criticism according to whether they feel that there is anything that they have to offer in terms of feedback for that piece.
What? Now we got Notre
Yeah, now we
Dame.
got Paul-
Notre
Paul
Dame's
speak
gonna
up.
speed up. Okay. So Bruce, you have a lot of experience, not just participating in critique groups with writers, but also moderating. What are some do's and don'ts for moderators?
A good moderator is showing or laying the foundation that everybody is involved, but that doesn't mean that you give pressure to everybody, that everybody's involved and that you can kind of use everybody on the equal and you put everybody on equal footing.
Right.
That helps a lot.
So the moderator's there to make sure that that one person who always does all the yakking doesn't dominate, or to make those people who might be a little more shy make sure they get their chance to participate if they want to.
Right. You have to be the filter for you have to be the filter and be able to read the 92% of nonverbal communication, because 92% is nonverbal, and see what's going on in the room and see how you can adjust and tweak the energy in the room. And that's the most important job as a moderator.
What's your don't?
Don't impose your personal taste on each other's pieces.
Okay.
A piece is a piece, and you're just trying to get the piece to do its best, not your best.
You have really to think about not telling people what they should be doing. It's really hard to do because it's like we all have this inclination to see in somebody's piece our own work and what we will do to make it better for our own standards. But you're not here to make somebody's work yours, but to help them make their work better in their own terms.
So I would say don't be too negative, because I think it's always quite daunting when you're presenting your work to somebody else, and I think it's obviously very brave of people to come along and present their work and things, so it's nice not to be too negative. But on the other hand, I would say do offer constructive criticism. So it's also not very useful for people giving feedback to just say, oh, I loved it, it was amazing, and to not kind of give anything that the writer can build on.
Right, so be specific.
So be specific, exactly. And if you think that there's something that can be improved, then say, rather than just trying to build their confidence for the sake of it.
Right.
In the same range, do try and see where the other person is trying to get, and get him to that point, not your point.
How did you find this group?
I think I found it on the internet.
What would you say to somebody who's interested in a critique group but maybe doesn't live in a big city like Paris or London?
If you don't have a group in your neighborhood, you can either go online. They have critique workshops, which will serve a purpose.
I would say either you could set one up yourself in your own city, because I think you'd be surprised at the number of people who are also interested in the same thing.
First, look for like open scenes, open stage, open mics.
Like an open mic night.
Usually, and if there's nothing there, it means there's a place there where you could start something alongside that open mic.
Or try to see if you can find one or two. All you really need is one other person. 2 would be better. 5 would be great.
And what about the social side of critiquing? Obviously, we're talking about work, but at the other Res group, people like to go out for drinks afterwards. Just
I think it's very important. It's like you've been beaten out. We always get beaten out at the workshop most of the time, and so you need that good feeling afterward. That feeling of belonging. That feeling of being in an environment where you can grow as a person and an artist.
Whereas I think a good feedback group, it can get rough, but it doesn't get personal. We all get a drink afterward.
So you sense, like a feeling of togetherness, of being part of something, of becoming part of something interesting, and that promotes your personal development, your artistic development.
Right. And plus you get drunk.
And you get drunk, so it's never lost.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.